This week's poem is called Light of the World, published by Serotonin Press. And this poem is about the experience of being a football player and growing up in a world in which spotlight's on you at all times. And while a lot of people might want that, and clearly all the attention's on you, so everybody thinks that that is something to be prized. However, what happens to a young person going through that system is that because of the attention, because of the reward of being such a talented player, and performing at a high level and having such a welcomed, inviting experience from fans and being paid to perform on the field, you begin to associate your identity with your performance on the field and not who you are as a person. In fact, a lot of the things that you do off the field will be offset by some of the things that you do on the field, depending on who your coach is. Because for a lot of kids, their talent overcomes their character. And coaches are willing to do whatever it takes to win. So they will put the best player in the game despite issues at school, despite issues at home, despite how they treat other players on the team, not showing up to practice. And it's not just about this situation, but that is one thing that's happening. It's this sense of entitlement. It's a sense of what's most important about me is what I do on the field. It's the problem of I have to perform in order to be valued because that's where I found my identity. Because when you're going through this system of football and being the most talented player for the majority of your life, and that's where you find the most reward, well, that's where you are. That's where you learn to associate your identity. It's not who you are as a person. It's not how you treat other people. It's not your development and your growth. It's the fact that I can perform, I can score touchdowns, I can make plays, and I'm doing really well, and people like me for it. And you know what? I can get a scholarship, and you know what? I can get NIL money now, and I can get paid like I would professionally at such an earlier age now. And when I wrote this, I wasn't writing this based on NIL. I was writing this based on my experience before NIL, which was already a problem because kids are learning to be entitled, and you can see it and you can feel it. It's the jock stereotype that is the ego. The egoic structure is being solidified based on a football player's belief that the most important thing, the reason people like them, the most important thing about them is how they perform on the field. And so what that's creating is a person who, after their career is over, still believes that the most important thing about them is how they perform. So it could be a jock who never grows out of his high school stage and still believes that everybody cares about what he did in high school. Or it could be someone who goes off and still performs for a crowd or needs that attention or needs that validation from other people in order to feel okay. And so what that's doing is creating a system, an entire population of former football players that aren't living in their truth, but living for other people's enjoyment. They're living to please somebody else. And so what's happening here, it's raining. Thank you. Thank you for the rain. Beautiful. What's happening here is that football players are associating what they believe to be light as their attention from other people and their reward from a financial standpoint. And what that's doing is taking them further away from the light. Because the further away you go from yourself, the further away from understanding who you are as a person, and that the most important thing about you is who you are in your independence, in your ability to stand on your own without other people supporting you and telling you that you're okay. The most important thing about every individual. So I wrote this poem as an attempt to inspire people and to remind them of where the light begins and ends. Because if you operate your life in order to please other people, but you're not pleasing yourself, then who have we become? We've become a land of superficial beings, egoic structures that are living our lives according to what other people want for us, but not what we want for ourselves. And the unfortunate thing is that we cannot understand what we want for ourselves until we let go of the desire to please other people. And so for every football player out there that believes that their only ticket to success is on the football field, this poem and my entire purpose for you and for this, my entire purpose as a person is to help you realize that the most important thing about you is not how you perform on the field. In fact, everything you do on the field is being exploited. In fact, the light within you that is sacred, that is invaluable, that is divine, is being exploited in order to serve your belief that football is your ticket to happiness, success, and a long, healthy life. When in fact, that's not the case. It's being exploited. It's the idea of football and our desire to want to be a part of this system and to achieve instant gratification, instant success exploiting our light within. There is nothing more important than who you are as a person. There's nothing more important than your light, and to keep it sacred and to protect it at all costs and to share it with others based on the unlimited source that it is. But if you do not believe you're the light, but instead you believe that the light is comes from your the attention you receive from others, financial prosperity, the things that you have, well, then you're creating a barrier around you and you're not allowing the light to shine. So the light of the world is about understanding where the light begins and ends, and that there is light within you, and that it's time to let it shine.